Hello everyone, this is Callie Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for September 29th to October 5th of 2024. So our quote for the week says, "Balance is the result of your own effort, strength, and creativity." Deep breath. This is what we're calling in this week as Venus and Mars mixes it up with Saturn. Mercury activates its new 3-month cycle. We navigate an eclipse. There's a lot of break to realign, new energy coming in that we have to prepare ourselves to navigate. And we are in the season of balance. So I encourage you to hold that spot that works for you and know that we are entering ancestor season as well. So cracking the ancestral code class, level 1 is open to everyone. Level 2, we have about 60 of you from last year that qualify to go to level 2. This year is going to be more brilliant than ever. Plus, halfway through, me and Yeye are supposed to be in New Orleans together, along with Teen Tish filming her documentary. Trying to document a few aspects of her life that we can put together in the future for you. So this is going to be a very rich ancestor season that I encourage you to engage, especially if you've never taken this class and you just want to learn more about basic rituals and basic interactions with your ancestral team. Those links are in here where if you click, you'll get many more details. We're holding the classes on Saturdays through October, November, leading up to the last one is the week before the holidays kick in so that everybody can go do what they do. And then we're going to circle back for winter solstice for what we call a capstone, because a lot of times after these classes, we all need time to integrate and process what we've just been through. And we have afterthoughts and integrations we want to share with the community, because once you've done an 8-week class with me and Yeye, it is a very tight-knit circle that develops with our students. You all support each other. We support you. It grows into something that you don't want to let go of at the end of the 8 weeks, truly, truly. And we don't, because we go on to higher learning. So that's another thing y'all need to consider, whoever's on the fence for level 1, is that this is the foundational class. This is Yeye's signature class. So pretty much everything grows out of this. We start with ancestor reverence. Then we can go into Ori work, which is your consciousness. Or we can go into the elements of ritual, which was very good this year in 2024. So we'll see how it goes in 2025. There's a level 1 and level 2 there as well. So we're building something. And if you've been following along on any of Yeye or my SOCMED, then you know we've been promoting the fundraiser for the Jambalaya School. We're getting the website ready, and there's a lot of little techie glitches that have us held up with being able to share this amazing presentation with you, but we're getting it together to be able to do that. We are so grateful for everyone that has come into the fold to support this vision of having an actual property where we could go learn from Yeye and Yeye's trusted teachers, all those of us who have really been learning at her knee these various skill sets that we want to be able to carry on, and we want you to be able to carry it on as well as ancestors of the future. So this is priming the pump. Not that we won't always have online classes, because of course we probably will, but we're moving in the next year or two toward being in person and teaching these classes on the ground outside of Oakland, San Francisco area, in the Bay Area of California. So keep that in mind too for you California babies, or West Coast babies, I should say, whatever's easy to get to, because I'll of course be there probably 8 times a year for the turn of the wheel. And then I'll have my own land and a little satellite school for Earth and Sky Mysteries. The intention is anything you learn from me will qualify as a credit toward your Spirit Works certificate that you're getting from the Jambalaya School. So all the different modalities, Yeye's thought of everything, honey. All the different levels of consciousness, all the different goals and aspirations of people and things that we want to support the development of. And education and sacred practices, ancestral reverence, all of that is at the root of anything else we would teach. And of course, she's a huge artist and dancer, and so the Sacred Arts Center is part of it. And I think it's a great idea for us to be a little more creative and tap into our inner artist to explore what we're experiencing. Rather than going through the mind, let's go through the heart and our creativity. And that absolutely is at the base and foundation of what Yaya wants us all to do, to activate our own creativity to do this. So join us for some basic ancestral reverence learning. That would be amazing. And this forecast is going up a day late. I do apologize but I did get 2 extra replays for you. It just took me a little longer than I planned. So the equinox replay is up. It's only 36 minutes. And this has all the energetic support for the next 6 weeks, taking us through the first week of November, which will be the final fire ceremony of the year. And we will be doing it from New Orleans, God willing. There are storms rolling through the Gulf right now. We're holding prayers for the whole southern part of the U.S. and everywhere else, because apparently there are storms literally all over the world at the moment. So deep breath. Let's do some work with our water spirits and water deities, all my Yemayas and Oshuns. And I'll work with my Oya to work on the rest. Oh, it's so deep. The creativity and the flow that is churning, though. Let's turn that force of nature into some kind of energy we can channel on our own behalf safely in our own way. And part of that is activating that balance of equinox. So definitely check out the replay of the energetic support, which leads to one of the activations. Mars trine Saturn is going to happen 3 times over because Mars is moving into its retrograde phase, which it only does every 2 years. Right now, we're getting an upgrade to who we are and what we want from the Mars side of things, the sacred masculine, how we do and be in the world, our choices and actions, our passions and energy. All of that is getting an upgrade. So part of a Mars retrograde, which that replay is at the bottom of the blog too, is turning the energy inward to focus on the self. In this case, in Cancer Leo, it's very personal. It's very personal. It's how you do your self-care and how you shine your light. And if we take care of ourselves privately, in the Cancer sector, we can go out in public and shine that light in Leo happily, joyfully, authentically, with integrity and passion, right? And joy. Joy is part of being on Earth, y'all. I don't know what the virtual realms do about joy, but this planet, joy is associated with every aspect of nature, in my opinion. So let's call it in. And the other thing about this, since we're going to talk about the activation, is that it happening 3 times over signifies with any retrograde, any kind of planetary connections that we talk about like this, the first hit is always going to illuminate something that needs to be reviewed. It's going to start giving you clues about what needs to shift. Now, this is Mars in Cancer to Saturn in Pisces, so we're still talking about our emotional default settings. We're talking about our boundaries and our protocols, our practices, all of the things that make real life work is changing because you're changing, because who you are and what you want is changing. So it's okay to pull back from the world a little bit for the end of this year, for sure. I'm not even trying to do nothing before spring in terms of, big launches or videos or anything in the public too big. Right now, a lot of the groundwork needs to be done and is what the energies support. So when that first hit illuminates, which is going to be this week, what's going on with your flow, what's going on with your sensitivity and boundary issues, and what's going on with your family DNA karma, what's going on with your personal security needs and primal needs, like the very essentials, what's going on at home and work, and what's going on with you, the individual, within the context of your relationships, because this is all where the upgrade is happening. The idea is to be in your water, be in your flow, be in your feeling nature, to sense what's necessary, but to allow your earthy side to give the flow a structure, to create those boundaries and that foundation so that the water doesn't stagnate, but nor does it overflow all over the place, right? We want to have our containers, right, for this flow to work properly. So I think some of the back and forth that Mars and Saturn are talking about, even though there's this ease and grace with them, when there's a retrograde involved, we have to assume that there's going to be some challenges to getting it right, to being able to really manifest the vision of this trine, of this ease and grace blessing activation. Ultimately, this is the goal. So we can also call that in. I'm a big proponent of I don't need to learn through tragedy and suffering and loss. I can learn with ease and grace and fun and joy and keeping it interesting and imaginative, right? So let's claim that ease, especially if you do have a lot of Aries, which Mars rules, or if Mars is really strongly placed or is somehow part of a big pattern in your life, this is the one to pay attention to. It upgrades every 2 years. So the first hit gives you the clue. The retrograde activates the backwards motion. It usually slows you down. Like you might feel the slowdown coming, but you're going to really feel it in the beginning of the year when Mars is technically backwards. Right now we're in what's called pre-shadow. We're working our way toward the retrograde. And then that final hit is it's not necessarily outcome, but it's the forward motion and the ability to move again. And hopefully the delay was divine enough to teach you what's shifted within you that is shifting your reality, and what in your reality is shifted that is forcing you to shift your identity and purpose. Okay, that's this combo. So we're going to look at the general trine as ease and grace. It's a delicious and potent combo. It's like a great father-son team working on a project type of energy. The son has all the muscle, energy, and enthusiasm of Mars, and the father is the brilliant, steady man who directs that energy and teaches in every moment like Saturn. Internally, this is your inner authority, guiding your innate desire nature to the tangible results that it so craves. Saturn brings the long-term goals to the table, and Mars's energy can fuel your efforts, creating amazing results. This energy enables you to focus longer, attend to the details, overcome obstacles, and get more tangible results of your actions and choices. Normally, when these two get together, it is more like the tortoise and the hare type of energy, which can be frustrating for some. However, they are in an easy angle, and if there is any major project which needs your attention, now is the time that you will likely be in the mood to tackle it and be completely supported. And I can't even lie, y'all, this just kicked in for me. I have been in a very special zone for the last 6 years, really. But my Mars is in Cancer. So this reset, for those of you who have Mars in Cancer or Leo, is bigger than the usual every 2 years because it's personal for us. It's last happened in the 80s. You know, it's been a long time since we've gotten this good, juicy, long, what I call an 8-month investment for a 16-month return on our Mars. So who are you? What do you want? What do you care about now? And how can we use this ease and grace of these two together to turn in on that project? If it's a special project of yours, I personally am working on me. My project is me. Empty nest, adult Kelly. That's where we at. And so think about what's most important to you. What are you passionate or what do you want to be passionate about? Think about how you would like to upgrade that identity for all that. And trust that the process, because Mars has several activations it's going to do 3 times over. This is just the first one. Although don't quote me. Maybe one happened last week, but it's coming. This is when it starts. I just want you thinking about what you're turning that energy inward on and for. With these activations, use these things that are illuminated for you in your Cancer Leo departments so that you can choose and not have certain things imposed upon you. Nobody likes that. But remember what I've told you along the way. When you don't disagree, people assume you agree. And if you don't get your vote in, people think you're okay with whatever. So always voice your choices so that everyone can be on the same page, and then hopefully we can manifest better and faster and all that good stuff. Now, Mercury conjunct Sun before and after a retrograde initiates a cycle. And this one has Mercury direct. So again, with sort of clear thinking after the reset that it just went through in Leo Virgo. So we do have like that particular zone. I've already talked about this 8 ways to Sunday on various calls and things, that the Cancer, Leo, Virgo zone is getting really tapped this whole entire year. We have been really going through this zone with a fine-tooth comb, updating some very personal aspects of self. Let's just say that. This energy will compel you to express yourself on many levels. Communication will be the focus. Just make sure that it is reciprocated. What I mean is two-way communication and exchange of ideas. As you initiate this new cycle of self-expression, you will have access to some powerful energy that can and probably will help you make a difference or an impression on others if you need to. If possible, this could be a good time to travel. However, if not physically, then mentally through visualization or within your own area locally. Because when you explore a new direction, you are much more likely to discover something new. This energy opens you up to a download of more information than usual, so pay attention. If you are solid and organized, you may even gain some much-deserved recognition from others that you have earned through your own individual efforts. Ashe. Nice. Recognition is good. Now, all that was Monday the 30th. Tuesday, October 1st, is our new moon money pouring with Yeye Louisa Tish. This is for her Patreon members who contribute $5 or more. I always recommend that you join her Patreon on the $25 tier because that gets you the new moon money pouring and the full moon burden burning ritual. That's 2 live rituals with an elder twice a month for $25. I mean, that's a no-brainer. So join us on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, to honor the Libra new moon solar eclipse. Now, this is number 5 of 6 in the Aries Libra series, as it were. And so, deep breath. Everything we think about doing annually with the Libra new moon, now I want you to think in 10 and 20 year cycles. Think bigger. 10, 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, 50, 60 years ago, for those old enough to go back that far. Come on. And think about you, the individual, within the context of your relationships and how different things are now. The Libra new moon is an excellent time to set your intentions for restored balance within your own being, enabling healthier relationships naturally. Keep in mind that you will always attract your own vibrational match. So how's your vibe these days? Inviting, welcoming, or guarded and suspicious? This is the month to set intentions around conscious equal partnership, whether public or private, short-term or long-term. Balance is always the key. This is the month to honor the scales that we must weigh our personal progress against our obvious manifestations in relationships, particularly for better or worse. So we're looking at how much progress have we made that we think we made, and then looking at the actual manifestation to see what's actually happened. The way I do this in my journal is I have intentions and highlights. Intentions are what I want to do. Highlights are what actually happens. So we want to really think about the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years alone and how it's been going, or kind of how you've made your choices in relationships, because eclipses give us a chance to break to realign. We get to interrupt our neural pathways and shift something. And normally with eclipses, it's a permanent shift. And the other thing about this, more than a normal new moon, full moon, lunation type of thing, we do say that 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, all related to the moon, right? But with an eclipse, the orb of influence is always 6 months. And we have them twice a year, every year. So I always tell people we have energy for change every year. The things that shift and move are the sign energies that they fall in, which activate the lessons and the experiences that we have. So there's this evolution. Right now, we're coming out of this, we've still got one more to go, but this is the final couple of eclipses in Aries Libra that has been shaking up, waking up, and breaking up folks, internally and externally. And like I said, I'm working on me, so I'm shaking up, waking up, breaking up with some aspects of Kelly that gotta go, right? And at the same time, we're shifting toward Virgo Pisces, which is more body spirit. So how do you handle things in real time in your body and your spirit? Now that we've recalibrated individually and in our relationships, now we're going to move toward what's healthy and creative and imaginative, but manageable. And we're going to be more in sync, hopefully anyway, if we've made good choices with our individuality and our relationships, then hopefully the Virgo Pisces eclipses will help us shift a few things so we can be a little healthier and handle life a little better. That hopefully we've gotten some unhealthy connections out of our way, so that we can magnetize those people who support who you're becoming, right? We're all in an evolutionary process. And Aries Libra really gets personal with that. It's time to assess the strength and value of each one of your relationships, kind of one by one, and what kind of time, energy, and resources you have and are willing to invest further with this person, situation, or agreement. Soulful kinship and a sense of belonging are vital for most humans, and we need to cultivate that more than ever these days. In our primary partnerships, we can practice renegotiating as we go. I'm a big proponent of that. At regular intervals, so quarterly, annually, whatever you can do. And I highly recommend that you do, because it keeps everyone on the same page. We can be part of something without being burdened by it. We can have soulful connections without losing ourselves. We can still love each other even if and when we do not agree, which is going to happen, y'all. So we got to be okay with that. It's time to define your individual terms and start renegotiating with those who matter, while releasing those people, situations, or agreements which are no longer relevant or useful. Deep breath. Because it is an eclipse, this is a bigger new beginning than the usual new moon. There is extra energy for letting go of old, toxic, worn-out relationships, thanks to the South Node in Libra, and making space for more balanced and reciprocal partnerships to blossom. Ones that honor your individuality and sovereignty in general, right? 2020 was the demarcation of the break to realign in our social systems. Patriarchy and Western culture are losing their stronghold on our souls, and we are breaking free to be sovereign beings who choose community, who choose life and kinship and the beauty way. That's all Libra, baby. Just know this. We are cultivating all new systems for living on and with Mother Earth. There are better, more efficient, less toxic ways to live on this planet. So the balance exceeds micro to macro all the way out. We needed the consciousness to awaken first. Now we will be able to implement the changes that honor the Aquarian age that is coming in as we speak. So use this blessed new moon, which includes, the sun and moon are together for a new moon. Mercury and Juno are both there in Libra for commitment and partnership. Very deep. Because again, if we've come out of a rewiring, we're thinking differently, we're choosing differently. This is initiating a whole new way of interacting with people, places, and Mother Earth herself. Honor the fact that we have to be in relationship with life and each other. We do not have power over. We are not conquerors. We do not own the earth. We are related to the earth. It is our home and where our family of elements, plants, and animals have to exist too. It looks chaotic in the world. However, this break to realign is a true blessing to wake up those sleepyheads who don't want to miss this. Claim a whole new level of relating, one that is balanced, beautiful, nourishing, healthy, and most of all, natural. Ashe, bring it on. That's my prayer for the break to realign of the next 10 and 20 years, because basically that's it. We look back to make sure we don't repeat any mistakes, but honestly, we're initiating the new 20-year cycle as we move through these energies. So keep that in mind too. So the official new moon eclipse is on Wednesday the 2nd, but our new moon money pouring with Yay is the day before. And that same day of the new moon, on the 2nd Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month, we have Soul Sisters Circle that we do animal medicine. And October's animal medicine is Raven. I know that's the totem of many of you. So come on and join us. It's a subscription. It's only $25 for the tools and replay. All the goodies. We gather on a conference call, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And it's always fun. That's Wednesday. And then Friday, the 4th, we have Venus trining Saturn. So first Mars trined Saturn, but it also initiated a whole process because it's part of the retrograde. Venus trining Saturn. This is a hint about something I talked about on the energetic support for fall equinox. So y'all be sure to check that out because I do talk about this. Venus and Mars are tag taming the social collective planets, which makes it personal for us. And we're shifting how we do our masculine feminine dynamics, how we get anything done around here. The social planets are mixing it up with the collective planets, and the collective planets are mixing it up with each other. So there's growth and evolution literally on every single level going on right now, leading us into 25, where some 25 and 26 just have some really unprecedented, been 1,500 years since we've had these activations. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. But I'm trying to dial it in for our individual energies to process and understand and make it useful. But I just want you to sort of keep that in mind, each little hit. Now, mind you, they're in a different zone. Venus is in Scorpio. Mars is in Cancer. It's just water energy. This was another thing we talked about on there, how all the water is activated. And then what did we say? All these storms are activated. It's all connected, y'all. So do check out the extra things that tell you the activations and the energetic support for the next 6 weeks. That'll be helpful for all of this. But typically, when Venus and Saturn get together in a trine, it's a smooth, easy energy that you can work with consciously and yield incredible, even tangible results. It's a good time to define your terms where relationships are concerned because you are really clear about your own values and priorities at this time. And based on your past choices and efforts, positive benefits and earned rewards are forthcoming. Love it. Saturn does reward us. I know everybody talks about the hard side of Saturn, but there are literal, tangible rewards we can get for our efforts and taking things step by step and building foundation and paying attention to certain details. If you've avoided responsibility in your relationships, public or private, then this energy can help you get back on track with less pain and suffering than usual, especially when Saturn's involved. If you can be practical about your own limits and realistic about what others bring to the table, then this energy also supports discussing forward movement, development, or spiraling to a new higher level in some way as a team. Strategizing about the future, clarifying the vision of what will support and protect all involved, and honoring the essence of life that runs throughout is deeply supported by these two getting together in an easy angle. Venus is also the energy of love and money, so it's a good time to be objective and somewhat conservative where both your relationships and finances are concerned. With this interaction with Saturn, I would suggest outlining a reasonable relationship or financial goal for the next 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. Deep breath. That is what that's good for. I've done that for years. It's helpful. But I also thought that there was another line in here, because if you have been avoiding responsibility in relationships, then I would say relationships or finances. This energy helps you get back on track because it's a trine. There's ease between the values planet and the responsibility planet, right? And by the same token, brings us to October 5th, which is Saturday, when the moon is in Scorpio, Venus is in Scorpio, and they meet up. This is what guides our Venus circle. We get together each month when these two get together. I try to do it ahead of time, so by the date of the activation, we can all work our mojo on our own. So we've already done this Venus circle, and this is the replay. I edited out the drum journey, something you all can do on your own, and I posted it on the podcast and YouTube station. Now, the reason I was moved to do that is because it was a super powerful call, number one. Also, I do believe everyone needs to learn as much as they can about Scorpio in order to learn as much as they can about their own individual personal power. That's what rules that little zone. So it's why it's the hardest one to understand and to really get a grasp of. That's important. I know I got a whole bunch of Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo Aquarius babies out there that are being affected by this activation, so it'll be relevant for you. But also, my crew dropped some knowledge. I have members of the Venus Circle, and Nasa Bawa is one who I've taught a few things with, and we've collaborated a couple times, and she's integrated the Venus Circle into some of her packages so that everyone can get that bonus material. And she dropped some knowledge. And she's got a big new launch going on right now that I want you all to check out and go to her website and see what she's up to, because she's revamped everything from a year ago. And Tanita shared a little testimony about working with, both of them talked about working with the Venus Circle and the Venus Cycle and their custom guide that I create every time we have a new cycle. So the new guide will come out around January, February. I'll have it ready because the new cycle starts around February, March of the new year. So what's happening now, and the other prompting for sharing this with the community, is that there's a handful of people sitting in now, that have sort of joined early to do the Venus Circle on this reclamation side and get a feel for the rhythm and everything else. They have their activation, so it's not like not having the guide at the end of the cycle is a big deal. That's not really a big deal. They got everything everybody else has. They're just doing it on the last, sort of 9 months of the cycle. And if you want to do that, this is the structure of the calls we do. We're at the throat chakra. We're coming down to the root. So the next one will be at the heart in Sag. And we're reclaiming after doing release work, which will be talked about on that replay as well. How we released, all of us. I tell everybody, whether you know about the Venus cycle or not, and whether you're consciously co-creating or not, these energies affect you. And so around December, everyone was feeling a release. And we were particularly looking at it through the lens of the power center, and it happened to be Scorpio, which rules power. Your solar plexus is your I am presence. It's your identity and will. It's very important for navigating. It's also the lower chakras, which is the body and physical and all that as well. So your actual energy comes into play. But we cleared at the power center so that we could express better or at a higher level through our iburu, our throat chakra. We want to activate that authentic voice. and we want to be a voice for something important to us. Like we said, with the Mercury retrograde, we've updated how we want to express. Mars is going to retrograde, updating how we make our choices and decisions and what we take action on, right? And as Mars is completing its retrograde, Venus is going to go backwards in Pisces Aries. So we're resetting on that personal level back to back to back, y'all. And the Mercury retrogrades for 2025 are fire and water, meaning Aries, Pisces, Mercury is going to go backwards there too. So see how Mercury and Venus link up a lot in their little rhythms. Then it's going to go backwards in all Leo, and at the end of the year, Sag, Scorpio. This is preparation for 2026 when Mercury is going to go backwards in all water signs. So again, with this watery theme going on, that is going to be perpetuated and extended even more. And these personal planets really do affect us directly. So learning how to dance with the rhythm is what we do. And in the Venus cycle, we do 9 months of release work and 9 months of reclamation work. And we're on the reclaim side. So check that out when you get a chance and join us when and where you can. At the bottom of the blog are all the standard kind of housekeeping things. We've got the Libra articles posted, and I hope to add those links to the monthly missive, which I'll send out to everyone on the eLIST. And under the Libra article is the Mars retrograde replay. So I done yacked enough about it this week. Y'all need to go check it out if you haven't yet. The Power Circle subscription gets you all your goodies for the year and monthly reports, lots of extra bonus goodies, my lunar tools and replays, all that good stuff. The Astro Tarot reading is my signature reading, along with the Venus reading, that is. So if you're looking to check in with your cycles and do a little tarot on a here and now question, that's what that one does. And of course, the affiliate program, for those of you who like to share my links or have websites with resource page on them, you could put my link there and it'd be no work at all. And the last thing at the bottom of the blog is the Soul Sisters Circle invitation, which is a 19-minute video that has a lot of my story and core values, and is something I recommend for new folks coming into the community or coming into classes with me. So I want to thank everyone for being part of the community. Thank you so much for listening. As I said, join us when and where you can. We got the money pouring on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern and Raven Medicine on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we start cracking the ancestral code on Saturday, October 5th, when we have our Venus activation. So it's pretty juicy ancestor season kicking off. And we look forward to having you with us. Reach out directly when you need to. I hope you have a fantastic week. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.